You know that feeling, right? You're standing in front of a closet, or maybe it's the garage, and it's just full of stuff you haven't laid a hand on in years. And just the thought of getting rid of it, it hits you with this sudden, sharp wave of anxiety. Well, what if I told you that feeling isn't some kind of personal flaw? It's not. It's actually a real biological event happening inside your brain. And believe it or not, understanding what's going on in there, that's the key to moving forward.
So yeah, that feeling of being stuck, that resistance to clearing things out, it isn't just you being sentimental. It's a deep-seated neurological reaction. Your brain is literally, and I mean literally, wired to see the loss of a possession, even something like a Chips coffee mug, as a genuine threat. This is our starting point, and it's so important. I really want you to hear this. What you're feeling is real. It's chemical, and just understanding that is the first real step to getting past it.
So, over the next few minutes, we're going to follow this roadmap together. First, we'll dive into that unseen force field that makes letting go feel almost impossible. Then, we'll get into the actual science of how your home kind of becomes an extension of your brain. After that, we'll introduce this really powerful new role for you to step into, the Sovereign Curator. From there, we'll give you some practical, brain-friendly tools to make this whole thing feel not just possible, but actually empowering. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and end with one simple, achievable step you can take today.
Okay, let's start with that invisible wall we all seem to hit when we try to simplify. You gotta know, this has nothing to do with a lack of willpower. You are, quite literally, in a battle with a biological force field that has evolved over thousands of years to protect what you own. And this right here is such an important distinction. You might look at a dusty box and see clutter, but your brain, it sees something totally different. To a part of your brain called the hippocampus, which is crucial for memory, those objects are like physical tethers to your personal history. So when you try to remove them, it can trigger this primal stress response, a flood of cortisol, almost like you're facing a real threat to your survival. Your brain isn't just protecting a thing, it's desperately trying to protect the memory it believes is locked inside that thing for good.
And this brings us to the main event, the endowment effect. Now, this is a well-known idea in psychology, where we value something more just because we own it. But as we get older, this effect can get even stronger. See, over time, these objects get woven into the fabric of our lives, so it's not about their monetary value anymore, it's about our identity. That object becomes part of your sense of self. So letting it go feels on a deep neurological level like letting go of a piece of you. Realizing this is so liberating. You're not failing at decluttering, you're just navigating a really powerful neuropsychological current.
So, if that's what's happening inside our heads, how does it all play out in our homes? Let's dig into the signs of how our environment gets so deeply fused with our sense of self, especially as we move through different stages of our lives.
You know, as our lives evolve, maybe we retire or our kids have families of their own, our external roles just naturally shift. And in response, our brain starts leaning more heavily on our physical surroundings for stability, to anchor our identity. Your home basically transforms into what we can call a sensory archive. It's like a physical library of your life's experiences, giving you this quiet, cognitive comfort every single day. The National Institute on Aging actually calls this attachment-based static. It just means our connection to our home is so deep that any kind of change can feel really unsettling, like static on a clear radio station.
And this whole process gets even harder because of two powerful psychological forces. First, there's decision fatigue. Think of your brain's ability to make decisions like a muscle. When you're sorting through years of stuff, making one choice after another, keep, donate, trash, that muscle just gets exhausted. It becomes physically harder to make good choices. And second, there's loss aversion. This is a basic human bias where the pain of losing something feels about twice as strong as the pleasure of gaining something. So that potential pain of letting go of an old keychain, it completely outweighs the imagined joy of having a clear drawer.
And this metaphor just perfectly sums up the last piece of the puzzle. Every single unused item, the old painting supplies, the books you were going to read, the clothes that might fit again one day, they all represent a possible future. Your home becomes this museum of potential. So when you think about clearing out a wing of that museum, your brain doesn't see it as creating space. It sees it as closing off a future possibility, a threat to your relevance and your potential.
All right, we've talked about all the deep-seated neurological reasons why this is so tough. So now, let's talk about the solution. And it's not about fighting your brain, it's about giving your brain a new, much more empowering job. It's all about a fundamental shift in perspective. And this slide right here shows the crucial transition we all need to make. The single most powerful idea we're going to talk about is this shift from object possession to narrative preservation. It means uncoupling the idea that the thing is the memory, because it's not. The thing is just a prompt for a story that already lives inside you. This one simple shift changes your role from a passive warehouse manager totally burdened by inventory to an active and powerful sovereign curator of your own life story. See, you're not losing memories, you're just choosing which prompts are truly worthy of display.
And adopting this mindset has some pretty amazing benefits. You immediately reclaim your power, and you get rid of that nagging identity guilt, because you're no longer throwing away your past. Instead, you're turning a dreaded chore into what we could call a strategic legacy project. You're actively deciding which stories matter most. This leads to something called environmental sovereignty. It sounds fancy, but all it means is that you are the master of your space, not the other way around. And the results are real. Lower stress, better well-being, and a deep sense of purpose that fuels this next powerful chapter of your life.
Just let that sink in for a second. You are the treasure. Your life, your wisdom, your memories, those are the jewels. The things, they're just the chest they've been stored in all this time. And now, you have the wisdom to know you can carry that treasure within you, without needing to lug around the heavy, cumbersome box. Okay, so with this new perspective, how do we actually do it? Let's move from the why to the how. And these aren't just cleaning tips, okay? Think of them as scientifically backed techniques designed to work with your brain's wiring, not against it. We call this the Distilled Archive Protocol.
It has 3 core steps. First up, the photographic transfer. For those sentimental items you don't really use, take a good, clear photo. This simple action actually satisfies your brain's need for that visual cue, which makes it way easier for your emotional system to let go of the physical object without that big spike of anxiety. Second, the 20-minute sorting sprint. Please do not sort for hours and hours. You'll just hit decision fatigue. Short, focused bursts keep your mind sharp and in control. And third, create a sacred square. Choose one shelf, one box, one cabinet. This is your curated gallery for your most cherished items. This isn't about limiting yourself. It's about elevating what's truly important. You're creating a gallery, not a storage unit.
And hey, if you find yourself really, truly stuck on something, here are 2 more simple tests. Try the functional friction test. If you haven't used it in a year, its function has probably expired. It's now creating friction. It's become a burden, not a tool. And don't ever be afraid to use a third-party filter. A trusted friend doesn't have that same endowment effect attached to your things, and they can give you that gentle, neutral perspective you need to see an object for what it really is.
Now, I want to shift our tone here for a moment because it is so important that we reframe this entire process. If you feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff you've collected over the years, that is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of success.
I really want you to take this to heart. The reason you have so much to sort through is because you have lived so much. Every single object represents an experience, a relationship, a moment of growth, a passion you pursued. This isn't a mess that needs to be cleaned. It's an archive of a life that was filled to the brim with meaning. The challenge you're facing right now is a direct and beautiful result of the richness of your past.
And there is a beautiful reward waiting for you on the other side of this. Research shows, again and again, that seniors who mindfully go through this process of simplifying their homes report significantly higher life satisfaction. They feel this renewed sense of possibility and freedom as they move into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. This isn't about ending a chapter. It's about clearing the decks to write a vibrant new one.
I mean, think about it. You have spent a lifetime adapting, learning, and evolving. This is just the next natural step in that journey. This is not a process of shrinking or getting smaller. No, it is a process of refining, of distilling your wisdom. See yourself as a master of evolution, consciously shaping your environment for a more focused, more powerful, and more peaceful stage of your life.
So, we've gone through the neurology, the psychology, and the strategy. Let's bring it all home with a simple, concrete first step you can take toward the freedom and lightness that you have absolutely earned.
So here it is, a gentle challenge, a little experiment for you to try. The whole goal is just to provide your brain with some new evidence. If there's one core lesson to take away from all this, it's that your belongings are not your memories. They are just the prompts for them. And this experiment is designed to prove that to yourself in a really low-stakes, totally manageable way.
It's a simple 24-hour challenge. Here's how it works. First, identify one small, invisible object. Something in a drawer or at the back of a closet that you haven't seen or used in years. Second, use that photographic transfer technique we talked about. Take a clear photo of it. And third, release the physical object. Donate it, recycle it, whatever feels right. It might feel small, but that single action is a powerful declaration to your brain. It proves that the memory is safe inside you,
and it unlocks the door to a much lighter future. And remember, the best way to start is with one little 20-minute sorting sprint, focusing on just a few items like this one.
Ultimately, this is all about you stepping into that role of the sovereign curator with a calm confidence. It's about knowing deep down that you hold the stories, not the stuff. This was never about loss. It's about liberation. So distill the legacy, clear the space, and go lead your life with the lightness you've absolutely earned.